your host on this channel. So guys, this is just a small video as my token of respect and appreciation, gratitude to all those people because of whom I had such an amazing Toronto trip. So guys, if you're connected with me on YouTube and other social media handles, you would be knowing this thing that I was in Toronto from November 16th till November 23rd. I kept on putting it out on the flyers, on my videos and all, out of which the initial response was amazing. I couldn't tell you how proud I was looking at the response. Like, some of the people were even willing to fly from US to get their reading. But obviously, like, people have their own priorities and the part of the city. I booked my arrangement. It might be far from many people and all. So the eventual and the final turnaround was not that much. But the people who came and the kind of experiences I have had, I couldn't tell you that how grateful I am. First of all, to begin with, guys, the whole objective of these kind of in-person consultation is that it's not only about getting an answer to your query. It's just like that you have bought that time from me. In that time frame, you can ask any question. The whole spiritual aspect of your chart, all the divisional chart, all the nakshatra, that can be decoded. If you want any guidance from palmistry, from numerology, that can also be done. So we did included all of that in the readings. Along with that, I did not know that how much of the people from diverse background has been following my videos, like how knowledgeable people are who are following my videos, and how much faith they have in the Hindu gods, in the Hindu deities. It was like very overwhelming for me. Like, I met people from Sri Lanka, very pure hearted. There was one guy from Sri Lanka. He's a very strong devotee of Lord Shiva. I did a reading for a guy. He's from originally from Gujarat, but the 3 generations have been living in Kenya. So yes, it was very insightful. And guys, a lot many things you get to know while doing reading for people as well. Like, for example, how much is the how much important is astrological guidance. You get to know when people come to you with the actual problem, and had they not come to an astrologer, had they not realized the significance of the planets, what planet is asking them to do, they would have actually, otherwise they would have faced problem. So, like, for example, there was this guy, he came to me, and 10th lord, very well placed in the 12th house, being a Libra Lagna, and this guy actually was on a work permit in Canada in the Saturn Mercury time period. So that means in next 3 months he was about to start the Saturn Ketu being in the 7th house. And he asked me that, it's like, I'm on a work permit. I have 2 options now, either to apply for another course, or my employer is giving me this hope that he could sponsor me. Now I just gave him this clear answer that your 7th house Ketu is getting activated. Those people who are giving you assurance that they will support you, these were the guys who are going to first pushing you away. Much better to go for the other route. There was one such case study which I came across, over where, guys, sometimes what happens is that under the influence of certain planetary yoga and time period, suffering is something, losses is something which becomes inevitable. The only thing is that the only way, if we keep on brooding over them, we acquire more karma. I mean to say, if something meant to happen over where you did not have much of the free will, so much better to accept it and move on with your life. I also encountered the similar kind of situation in one sort of client consultation as well. And then that guy was telling me that, hey Nipun, had I consulted an astrologer before, at least I would not have self-loathed myself or troubled myself that much. So because of which, guys, I always say this thing that there are certain stages over where astrological guidance becomes very important. Now, no one is asking you to go to an astrologer with very expensive fees, whatever you can afford, but an astrological guidance at certain stages of the life becomes very important. For example, when a child is born, does the child have got any Arishta Yoga in the chart, any kind of Ganmul kind of dosha and all, which needs to be appeased within the few weeks of the birth only, at a time when children are about to select their specialization. You are already 14-15-year-old, you are about to complete your school. Now you have to look for which field you shall put your child in. So even at that time, astrological guidance is very important. And at a time when you are getting married, so I mean to say, there are certain stages where astrological guidance becomes very important. And guys, not only I had these kind of experiences, afterward the turning point was that there is this medium or a psychic tarot reader. She's an actor and a musician as well. She's based in Toronto, and we have been connected on social media, observing each other's journey from a long span of time. So I even like met her in Toronto as well. Hi guys, as you know that I'm in Toronto and I'm doing a tour and doing astrological readings. And just because I'm very active on Instagram, I have been following one actor, musician and a medium, happy medium, over the Instagram, doing live readings in Toronto. And see, I tried getting in touch with her. She agreed, and right now I am with her.
Hi.
Hi, Kayla.
Hi.
So tell me about how, when you do these readings, how does people respond? How has been the response so far?
Well, the response has been mixed.
Okay.
The
Is
majority
it busy like New York, or how is it?
Is it busy like New York? It's busy. I can't compare it to New York.
Okay.
I think people here are a little bit more open to New York. I think people in New York have seen more shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people seem to be really open to it. People who aren't open to it, they tell me right away. I mean, first of all, I'm in pajamas. Secondly, I'm walking up to you and I've got like a folding table. So it's definitely questionable what I'm doing. But this started because I was promoting Happy Medium, my live theater show where I read tarot for the audience. And I also sing the readings.
Okay.
And so I've been singing some readings to people on the tube as well, which has been fun and funny. And if not for anything, it brings me so much joy.
So your the instrument which you have is we're gonna use one table for the reading. We have a train, we have a subway which is right over there, and we have a happy medium here.
Right.
And you generally use the Rider-Waite tarot cards?
I use the Radiant Rider-Waite tarot deck, yeah.
So Kayla, when we are going to be approaching people, what are going to be the filters which you will use? Young people, old people?
Yeah, so I don't really discriminate based on age or gender. What I do is I look at people's eyes. And I look for kind eyes, open eyes, curious eyes. You know, I'm generally smiling at strangers, which I've been told for years not to do, but it's just my face a lot of the times, unless I'm in a rush, I've got this thing where I really enjoy people and I'm curious about people. So people who I feel are similar, that's who I'm drawn to. That's my favorite.
Nice. Okay, so guys, after this, now I'll be taking you straight to the live action, and we will see that how Toronto people respond to invitation to a complimentary reading.
Hello, I'm Kayla. Olivia. Olivia wants to know. It's a musical. Hi, everybody. Olivia, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you these cards and you can shuffle them, and there's no wrong way to shuffle them, okay? And thank you for saying yes. Have you had a reading before?
From like friends,
Love it.
but not.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Ooh, I like the bottom card already. Olivia, can you please give me a question in one sentence, and it can be about anything. It could be about work, it could be about love, it could be about family. You just take your time, it's okay. You do you.
I don't know. I just picked classes for the next semester.
Okay.
How's the rest?
How's life looking? How's life looking? Okay. Olivia wants to know, how will life next semester go? Ooh, okay. Olivia, I feel like what you're studying is definitely something that you feel confident in. I've got the 9 of Pentacles at the bottom. For me, that's like abundance. That's you trusting that what you're working to is building up to something great for you, and that you feel it's going to financially pay off. See how I'm like detracting from next semester? Isn't that great? Because I want you to think long term, okay?
No, yeah.
Because there is a class. I've got the 10 of Cups, which for me feels like you're emotionally supported. That's great. I've got the Devil card here as well. That's around fear, and I don't feel like, and I've got the Judgment reversed. So I don't feel like you want to look at the fear that you feel around like a specific class next semester. And it might be around like a specific teacher, professor, someone in charge. Okay? I still have the Queen of Wands for you. So like there's nobody here who, oh, and I've got the World. So if you're intimidated by or afraid of a specific professor or specific class, just know that they can't take your power away from you. And it's worth you looking into why you might be intimidated by them and work on those, like, I guess, triggers within yourself.
My only thing I could think is just I haven't had some of them before.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
that's the only thing, because I've had all this stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So that intimidation, it's natural, but I think it's something that you've kind of suppressed or haven't been looking at, because it shows up, and then it shows up with the judgment card upside down, being like, we don't talk about this. Outside of that, I think it's going to be great. Literally, that's the only hiccup there. It's just the nerves, but you come out as like an ambitious person who's doing a wonderful job. Yeah. Good. Okay, good. How do you feel in one word? How do you feel in one word?
Maybe reassured.
Reassured. I love it. So good to meet you and read for you. Thank you. Thank you for letting me. Awesome. And I want to read more for you. We're good. Thank you.
So guys, after having our discussion on the significance and the whole process which Kayla follows, and witnessing the in-person action, doing the live readings with strangers, now we will be just having our insight over the life of Kayla. So Kayla, tell me one thing I want to know very earnestly from you, that what brought you into tarot? Because your dedication to the craft, to the cards, to the energies, even the day when we have met, moon is also in the Cancer. So I want to first ask that, have you always been interested in tarot, or it happened with some sort of epiphany, suddenly got into it? How it happened?
Okay, I think that with tarot, it's something tangible that people can get and use as a tool. I feel like I was always open, and I was always curious, and I had maybe I think I was more spiritual than a lot of other kids my age. Like, I take praying very seriously. You know what I mean? And so for me, I would make things mean something. I remember when my grandfather died, we were all at my grandparents' house, and we were sitting there, and in the cupboard, a glass broke. And I was like, Grandpa's here. And they all looked at me like I was crazy for saying that. I'm like, oh, this is so obvious. The cupboard's closed. The glass broke. That's never happened before. Never gonna happen again. And his whole family's here. So I just kind of put these things together that I assumed were obvious. I got a palm reading when I was about 16 or 17, and it blew my mind. And I cried after for maybe 30 minutes out of resonance. Yeah, it wasn't like the phenomenon of it all. It was the fact that, yes, of course we can do this. This is real. You hear a lot of, people talking ill of, readers, or saying that it's fake or this or that. So to have that experience, I was like, yes, I got a good one, and this is real. So I decided to buy my own tarot cards. I think I was 19, and I'm glad that I didn't know much about tarot or anything, because there was this superstition that you're not supposed to get your own deck. Well, I fucking did, and you should too. I really don't adhere to a lot of the rules or whatever it is around these pieces of paper. That's what I call them.
So Kayla, it's when you approach strangers in subway, so has it happened sometime someone was going through some sort of pressing issue, and the minute you walked in like an angel at the right time and you guided that person, and then that person is giving you thanks, he's very grateful, and something happened, like a divine sent message has been delivered to that person, something of those kind of experiences, or someone started crying or something?
Yes. So generally when I read tarot on the subway, it's a little bit of a spectacle, because I'm doing something that's, first of all, I'm in my pajamas, and then secondly, I'm doing something that's really unexpected. And so I read, and I also advertise my show that way, and my show is a comedy. So I make the readings a little bit funny, a little bit entertaining. There was this woman who was beside me. So I had read for all of these people here, and then there was a woman who was beside me to my right, and she was quiet. And she was just, watching but not watching but not. And these people had read, and then they got off, and it was their stop. And I just kind of looked at her and I said,
She wanted a mini reading. And she said, I only have 2 stops. So I said, that's fine. I don't even think she had a question. I said, okay, let's just do this quickly. And I got 3 of Swords. And I was just talking to her about her heart and healing and speaking about what's happened to her to somebody. And she started to cry. Not like, she's not weeping, but she had like tears in her eyes. And she thanked me and she left. And for me, I was like, like that was the most beautiful reading of the day. That's not gonna get, I'm not gonna put that on the internet, it's not gonna get any views on it, but between her and I, just to have that beautiful moment with another.
Now, my question is that, see, the way I see tarot and especially the major arcana cards as the theme of the life, experiences of the life. So I will ask you about 3 cards which always intrigues me, okay? And so the very first card is going to be the Hangman card, because the depiction and the art, like the illustration of that card looks like a man is upside down. Is it like, because in India we have some of the yogic practices where people, in order to have that calmness in their mind and all of that, they indulge into those religious austerities and yogic practices. How in tarot, and what kind of impression, life experience you attach with Hangman?
The Hangman is so funny because when someone gets a Hangman in a reading, they're frustrated.
Okay.
And it shows up. So you told me the few cards that you were going to choose prior to us jumping on. And so I knew that you were going to talk about the Hangman card. When this Hangman card comes up, I like to remind the person that they have put themselves in a timeout. And they get pissed.
Okay.
Hold on, let me finish. They get pissed. They're like, no, I didn't. I don't have any choice, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, look, this person, okay, they are hanging here by their ankle.
Okay.
And they have the ability to untie themselves. There's nobody watching over them. There's nobody who's put them here. And they have put themselves in a timeout. It doesn't feel that way. It feels like the universe has put them in a timeout, but they put themselves in a timeout so that they can change and shift their perspective. Once they change and shift their perspective, they're standing upright, they're enlightened, and we have the 4 here, which in numerology is all about stability. So they're able to untie themselves with a different perspective. Okay, oh my God, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do, or should I apply for this job? Got the Hangman card. Well, that doesn't tell them if they should apply or not. It tells them they're frustrated about the situation. Do you want the job? Are you settling? What is it about this that you're not willing to physically move forward? When you feel stuck, you're not willing to take action. You're not willing to commit. And that stuckness seeps in and you get more and more frustration. So with the Hangman card, what we need to do first is change our perspective and get in touch with like a higher perspective. So like us in 5 years, what does our highest self say about this? Like not our small human self, but the part of us who's like connected to something greater. What are the actions that we need to take from that place?
So, like the way if I need to attach an actor, I might attach with, let's say, Lover's card. So, what kind of people, profession will you attach with the Hangman? If I were to ask your personality based on the Hangman, which personality will you attach with it?
I don't really know because I've never looked into that. I'll be honest with you. Personality.
Can it be a monk?
And I want to say that I feel, I guess my perspective more so is that we are all of these players. Okay. We are all of these cards. I want to say when you're feeling resistance, when you feel like something might be good for you, but you're not willing to put action behind it, or if there's a conversation that you need to have, but you're not willing to do that, or if you're judging somebody, you are in that Hangman situation. And there's nothing wrong with it, but that frustration is going to be there, and that's your sign and signal that you need to connect to something bigger outside of the story that you're creating for yourself that's keeping you stuck.
Wow. Moving to the next card. How about the Temperance card?
The Temperance card is not bad, It's interesting because I feel like this is a card that people don't like to see. It's like, well, why not? This card is all about balance. But the Temperance card for me is like, you are trying to move towards something that you find very important, and you're for so much of the journey, we're not where we want to be yet. The Temperance card is showing, okay, you're not where you want to be yet, but you have the goal. there's things that you need to balance in your life in order to get there. Yeah, and for entrepreneurs, you might still need that 9 to 5 or whatever it is job, but you're still working on your craft on the side. And it's that way forward. Or let's say you want to move out somewhere and right now you're still living with a roommate or whatever. Okay, how are you going to do that? And like before you're ready to move out. But the Temperance card is about coming back to self, having that space carved for yourself where you can still connect with the goal so that you're still feeling motivated to do what you have to do to get where you're going.
And how about the Death card?
The Death card. I don't mind the Death card. And this is why. The ending has happened. Okay? You're in a moment of grieving. There is also a sun coming up here on the Death card. So there is hope. For me, it's like, okay, the worst has happened. You don't have to worry about something bad coming or something bad happening. Okay. Oh, you got fired? Okay, you got fired. Cool. Well, there's new opportunity on the horizon. Let's focus on that while you're healing. The Death card is also a rebirth. Your life is shifting and it's changing. And even when things are very positive, we're still grieving the life that we knew and the life that we were comfortable with. As I find myself doing things that are outside of my comfort zone, I feel grief. It doesn't always feel exciting. Sometimes I'm doing something that's so great and I still grieve for the part of me a year ago who couldn't do it, right? Nice. So it's there's still some pain involved and there's that healing involved as well.
So yes guys, overall the ultimate experience, not only about sightseeing in the city, going to CN Tower, going to the aquarium, and I also spotted this was also the same time when the Taylor Swift concert was also going on. So with all that hustle bustle of the city, doing readings, exploring the city, it was a very overwhelming experience, and I'm very much sure that when I will schedule myself for another trip to another city, I will be meeting and witnessing the similar overwhelming response from my community as well. So once again guys, thanks a lot Toronto. I couldn't tell you how grateful I am the way you guys treated me.